So there's no need for much introduction today. I just want to get straight to the action, but this is the day that I've been waiting for since I seeded the lawn. So pretty excited today to bust out the Swardman here. It is chilly today, but the sun is out, so I can't complain too much there. Just ready to get going on this mow. Height of cut here is set to just under an inch. So I'm gonna keep it right around there and see how that works out for now. Well, I don't mean to extend out your waiting time to see the main area here, but yes, today actually I do, because I want to extend this mow a little bit. This looks fantastic so far. Happy with the way that the color looks, the way it's filled in so nicely in the amount of time that we had. And there's nothing more to say really, it looks great. Alright, here we go. I'm going to lower the height of cut just slightly. It wasn't cutting off too much here, so I'm going to go just a little bit lower than it is. And then time for some stripes. I'm trying to decide exactly what I want to do, so maybe just some diamonds today. We'll see how it looks here in a second. Alright, well, I don't really have anything else to say. You can see this smile on my face right now. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. It's exactly what I wanted out of this project. I know we had some setbacks along the way. Some rainstorms that kind of threw some wrenches in there, some fungus problems that thinned a few areas out, but at this point I cannot believe how good it looks from just a couple months ago being complete dirt to what it is now. So this was the moment that I've been waiting for. It's what I've always wanted since I got this Swardman mower, is to be able to mow on an area that looks like that. So we're not done yet. I think it's time for a few more stripes on there. We'll see if we can do some diamonds and make it look pretty cool. So to just be completely honest with you, I really never thought that this would be something that I would achieve in my own yard. I always thought I love the look of the golf course look or the sports field look, but it's not something homeowners can do. So I want to thank Connor Ward for giving me the inspiration initially. When I first saw his yard, I was blown away by it. I still am. So if you haven't checked out his channel, which I'm sure most of you probably have by now, but if you have not checked it out, check that out. And he initially gave me the inspiration that this could be possible in someone's home, or at someone's home and in their own yard. And then thank you so much to Swardman as well for the use of this mower. It has far exceeded all of my expectations. Real mowing has honestly become an addiction of mine now, and it's just a whole different experience, something that I really look forward to doing more of in the future and more of with the front yard and all that. So I just wanted to say those couple things here while it was on my mind, but really, honestly, this is a day that I didn't think would come in my own yard, but I'm so glad that it looks the way that it does. Okay, so our fun is not over for today, though, that's for sure. We got about 5 days of rain coming, it looks like, so I've got to get a mow on this front yard here and actually get it cut down a little bit before we get all that rain. So I'm going to try the manual reel mower again here on about the second notch and see how we turn out, and we'll see how it looks. It's still pretty soft. I'm going to just tread lightly if I can, and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, what I found out is since the grass is a little bit longer right now, it's kind of wispy, and I had to raise the height of that cut a little bit. I'm missing quite a few of the blades in there just because they want to lay over with the roller. So I don't really want to have to do that, but I think I might need to put a rotary mower on this. And not really something I'd love to do, but I'd kind of like to get a clean cut on there too. Let's do a little test and see if that's going to be okay or how much it's going to sink into the ground. Alright, well, definitely not my preferred method there of cutting that, but it is working okay, and I'm doing minimal damage. I can feel some spots where my feet are definitely sinking in just a little bit, but like I said, I'm kind of in a predicament here where I've got to get this cut so I can hopefully let it dry out a little bit and start real mowing yet before we get to the end of the season. But I can't let it get too tall, let it get really adapted to that height, and then come in and cut it. So worst case scenario is we have to keep it a little bit higher yet this fall, and then in the spring try to transition it lower at that point. So just trial and error. Pretty much what I do here is just do experiments. So just stay along for the ride and we'll find out. Okay, so that's the first cut on the front yard, and considering all the factors that we've had, a lot of cold weather and just not really ideal conditions, it looks fairly good. There's definitely some spots that aren't filled in completely yet. I might throw a little bit more seed down in those just to kind of see what happens, but with our temperatures being pretty low coming up and a lot of rain, not sure there's going to be much more germination happening anyway. But overall, I would say for just being over 2 weeks, we have pretty good growth coming in. Of course, it's ryegrass, so it's going to be fast, and that's the reason why I used it. But mainly, my whole goal of this project was, if it didn't turn out great next year, there's a high likelihood that I'm going to be renovating to exactly what I was using on that other side or something very similar. After I see the results of that, it's pretty much exactly what I'm going for. But the main point was that I needed to level this out drastically. And of course, that's what I did when I brought in 6 yards of topsoil, spread it all across here. There were some areas that needed inches and inches of soil to kind of get up to level. So this is a really good head start. Now on this today with the mower, I would have been bouncing around before quite a bit. It felt much more smooth. And so that was the main goal, was step 1. Now I didn't expect that in one step I was going to get everything level, so it's probably going to need another top dressing or 2 next year. So all that factors into a lot of things, but so far so good, and I still hope that this year I can do a little bit of real mowing on this. Some of you have also been giving me some crap about my edging or lack thereof, so let's fix that today too. Well, there is the edging done, and a few ryegrass plants were killed in the process of that thing, so rest in peace to them. That's why I really didn't like doing the edging until the grass gets pretty full in there, just because I like to keep everything intact, let it grow in a little bit, get established, and then we do some of that edging. But it does make a big difference in the overall look, I will say that for sure. So I think it turned out pretty good. This is the true sign of someone obsessed. Well, my day in the sun looks like it's about to end here. But we can't forget about the backyard. I would like to get this thing mowed here before our 5 days of rain as well. So I'm going to try to get through this. And the nice thing about the Time Master is just that. Saves you time. So I can probably get through this backyard in maybe 15 minutes or so if I kind of move along. So that is another nice feature about that mower. Going back to like using this Honda for a big area, just not nearly as fun. I want to show you something here. So over here in this section, you can see everything looks pretty flat, pretty green, looks good. But as we move over to here, I don't know how well it's going to show on the camera, but you'll see there's some yellow spots out in here, and I'll show you what's going on, which I've never seen before. Here's a good example of what's going on. So this, I'm not scalping the ground. It's as if this grass grew above the soil. So if you can see down in there, there's the soil, and we're about at least 2 inches above that. And it's just all a bunch of root system above the ground. Now let me show you another spot, and I'll show you what this grass is doing. Here's another spot, and you'll see it's almost growing out straight sideways instead of up. So it has to be a variety that is more of a low cut. And just look at this. Again, it's all growing above the ground and gets into these huge nasty clumps like this, and it's just a complete mess. So you'll see these blades here, how they're actually going sideways instead of really up. They come out of here and they
are essentially just growing out to the side. So it has to be a low variety, a low mow variety. Compare that to some of the surrounding grass around it. If we bend this back here, you can see that there's no root system above the ground, not even really any thatch in there. So there is the bottom of the plant, and we're good. Now you look at some of these areas here and you can see that the bottom of the plant is all the way up here instead of being down at ground level.
So really I'm not sure what the solution is to that, and as I mentioned, I've never seen anything really like that where the actual roots are growing so far above the actual soil where it's at. I think maybe it stems from when I was trying to push my grass height earlier this spring, so probably when the grass was getting really tall. I was mowing it at like 4 inches in the spring as well because we just had so much growth happening that maybe it just got to that point where it got thick at that point, and the existing grass around it just kind of thought that that's the soil layer. I'm really not sure, but the only thing I can think of to do would be to let it go this fall and then make sure in the spring, right as things are starting to kind of pop up again, cut things really low and kind of try to regenerate it that way and kind of tell it where the soil layer is at. So that's really the only thing I can think of. But as I said, I've never seen anything like this, so I don't know how exactly it's going to remedy itself or what I can do about it. That was just a thought that I had. Well, that was certainly a fun day of lawn care for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it, especially that mow at the beginning there with the Swardman mower. I can't wait to do some more patterns, and I have a little striping contest coming up that someone challenged me to, and I think Connor might be joining in. We'll see. His grass might be a little bit too far gone by that point, but we're gonna try to do it for around the Halloween time, so stay tuned for that too. But I'll have more stuff in between here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.